12 new mistakes in Bluey you never noticed. Bluey is highly acclaimed all over the world, but even this Disney hit is not spared from some editing mistakes. In this episode, we will take a look at some of the mistakes you might have not noticed. For number 1, the beach. In this episode, in the first season of the show, the Healer family heads out to the beach to do what they do best, and that's to have fun. Everyone is having a blast. Bandit is building a sandcastle, and Bingo is burying Bluey in the sand and making a mermaid tail on her legs. Now, in one instance, we get a top-down view of the two pups. We notice that Bluey's eyebrows are blue, but the thing is, in this episode, Bluey's eyebrows were painted yellow. It's probably from the sunscreen Chili had applied on her. Number 2, missing tail. Some errors happen so fast that only a Hawkeye can notice. Like in this episode, Bandit is playing in bed with Bingo, and during that scene, something peculiar happens. While he's on his belly, his tail goes missing. Were the animators in a hurry that they forgot to add his tail? What do you think? Number 3, fruits. Let's take a look at the spooky disappearance of an item as Bandit and his daughters are having some quality playtime. In the episode Tickle Crabs, the little pups are having a blast with their ever-playful dad in various rooms of the house. Bluey and Bingo pretend to be crabs and tickle their dad into the kitchen, climbs onto the counter to escape the wrath of the wannabe crabs, and grabs fruit from the fruit basket to throw at them. It's at this moment that we notice that one of the fruits, most likely an orange, goes missing. Could the Healer family residence be haunted? Or is it just a continuity error? Number 4, levitating snout. Of all the animation errors in the show, some catch the attention of many because of how bizarre they are. One such example is in the episode Takeaway. When our acting waiter Bluey pretends to be taking an order, it's evident to us that her snout moves before her head and seems to be levitating in the air. This error was mind-boggling, and I raised my eyebrow when I saw it. Number 5, Bandit's belly. Every diehard of Bluey knows that Bandit is like a grown-up copy of her. They look pretty similar. However, one of the characteristics that sets them apart, besides their size, is quite easy to identify. Though he's predominantly blue, one part of Bandit's body has a different color. Do you know what that is? Well, if you said Bandit has a yellow patch on his belly, then you guessed right. But the thing is, this isn't consistent throughout the show, thanks to occasional editing mistakes. This also happened in the episode Takeaway, where as he walked, his belly was its normal color, but when he turned, it changed to blue. The cool thing about it is that if you look closely, Bandit and Bluey turned out the same, like father like daughter. Number 6, Bandit goes bald. Some Bluey episodes are pretty iconic, and they leave an impression on us. One such episode is the horseshoe episode. That's so funny, it makes it memorable. In this episode, Bluey, Bingo, and Muffin spend the day teasing Bandit and his sibling Stripe. The young ones have a wonderful time turning their parents into horses and messing with them. The hilarious part is when the kids decide to have a makeshift horse wedding down to the Vale. It's during this pretend wedding that we encounter another animation mistake. The dark blue part of Bandit's head disappears, and his head is completely blue. The expression on his face is pretty amusing, and he seems like he's gone bald. Just maybe the kids got to him and he turned bald. Let's not pick on Daddy, kids.
I'm the luckiest horse in the world.
Horses can't talk.
Number 7, Mackenzie's white patch goes missing. Let's take a break on Bandit and take a look at an editing mistake on one of the show's beloved side character, Mackenzie. In the episode The Creek, we notice that when the small pup emerges from the bushes, his head is completely covered with black fur. In reality, the fur on his head is not completely black. He has a white patch on the middle of his head. It might have been a brief moment, but we were keen enough to notice it.
Yeah, okay. I'll just have to chop the leg off.
Number 8, Mackenzie's tone. In the same episode, lightning struck twice on Mackenzie. As we pointed out, the fur on his head is black, but he has a white stripe in the middle. In one scene, we see half of his head turn black and the other half becomes all white. And in the next frame, his fur reverts back to normal. It seems that in this episode, Bandit handed the baton to Mackenzie. Number 9, missing eyelashes. One of the most exciting episodes of Bluey is called Seesaw, where we encounter the kids trying to overpower Bandit, who is obviously heavier than all of them. He even teases them by sitting on the seesaw. When Bluey and Bingo comes to the realization that they need all the help they can get to defeat Bandit, they call on all the kids to come and sit on the seesaw. One of the kids who come to their rescue is the posh poodle, Coco. As she gets on the seesaw, you can clearly see that she has a pair of eyelashes on her eyes. However, when they call Pom Pom to come and help, we go looking back on Coco. Her eyelashes have gone missing. Now we might be led to believe that maybe she was wearing fake eyelashes. But since these eyelashes magically appear at the end of the episode, we can safely conclude that it's just another editing mistake.
Is your frizzy hair very heavy? Yeah.
Number 10. Alien Bingo. In the episode Asparagus, the Healer family embarks on an imaginary adventure where they pretend to be wild animals. When Chili and Bingo conducts an attack on their neighbor Pat, we notice something really bizarre. As Bingo gets a hold of Pat's leg with her mouth and drags him, her paw goes through Pat's leg like a mutant alien. This begs the question, does Bingo possess alien abilities that might be revealed later in the show? Who knows?
What was that?
Number 11. Bluey's Moonwalk. In this episode, we notice two mistakes. Bluey is upset, and as she strides through the living room, followed by her mom, she kicks a yellow balloon. At that moment, we notice two strange things that we write off as animation errors. The first error occurs when the pup kicks the balloon, and weirdly enough, the balloon moves even before she kicks it. Was the balloon expecting the kick and moved beforehand? Or did the animators get ahead of themselves? We notice the second error in the next scene. After Bluey kicks the balloon, she sort of slides on the living room rug in the style of Michael Jackson's moonwalk. On the real though, the movement seemed unnatural and definitely caught our eye. Number 12. Bandit's hair issues. As we have deduced throughout the show, it's like the animators of the show like teasing the protagonist's dad. In this episode, he's facing some hair issues. This time, the animators forgot to include a patch of hair under his eye. However, this happened so quickly that in the next frame, he's back to normal. Let's hope that Bandit gets a special hairstylist to get on top of his hair problems. Bringing to life an animation series as good as Bluey is certainly no easy feat, and we greatly appreciate the creators of the show. And if you'd like to appreciate our efforts bringing you these interesting pointers, then consider subscribing to our channel. Until the next time, folks!